The Walking Dead was already chaotic, but nothing prepared the world for the moment one man walked out of an RV. Like he owned the apocalypse. Negan didn't just enter the show, he detonated it. One smile, one speech, one swing. And instantly, the entire fan base split into two angry mobs. Some said he saved the show. Others said he destroyed it. But the truth? Oh, it's much worse than that. Because Negan's controversy started long before anyone realized, and it only gets messier from here. Before Negan ever appeared on TV, he was already something of an urban legend among comic readers. They talked about him the way people talk about a catastrophic storm. You don't prepare if it hits. You prepare when. His arrival was whispered like prophecy. Every convention, every Reddit thread, every YouTube comment section was full of warnings. He's coming. You aren't ready. He will break the show in half. Fans didn't hype Negan, they mythologized him. Then, Jeffrey Dean Morgan was announced as the actor playing him, and the internet reacted like someone had just cast Batman and Joker in the same body. It was perfect casting, too perfect. The hype rose so fast it broke the sound barrier. People weren't watching for Rick anymore. They weren't watching for the group. They were counting down the minutes until Negan swung that bat. And that's where the danger began, because when fan expectations reach that level, the only possible outcome is impact. And oh, the impact was coming. Season 6 gave us one of the most tense finales in television. Rick's group kneeling in the dirt, the saviors surrounding them. Negan pacing back and forth like a shark smelling blood. His speech went on, building dread with every word. It felt like the entire universe was holding its breath. This was supposed to be the moment. The moment fans had waited years for. The moment Negan would cement himself as the monster the comics promised. And then, right when Lucille came down, "That's it? See you in 6 months?" The outrage was instant. People didn't just complain, they revolted. Memes, rants, videos, threats to quit the show. Fans felt manipulated, not entertained. Even people who liked Negan were furious, because AMC used him as a hostage for ratings. Negan became controversial before he even killed anyone, not because of who he was, but because of how AMC weaponized him. But the real chaos didn't start until the blackout lifted. Because when Season 7 finally returned, it delivered something far worse than any fan had predicted. Season 7 opened like a punch to the soul. Abraham's head met Lucille first. The shockwave hit like a truck. Brutal, graphic, merciless. Fans were horrified, but they braced themselves. They thought, okay, maybe that's it. But then Glenn, sweet, original, beloved Glenn, lifted his head just long enough to say goodbye, and Negan smashed him into the dirt. That moment didn't just break hearts, it broke the fandom in half. Some viewers said it was the boldest, bravest thing the show ever did, living up to the comics, pushing boundaries. Others said it was torture porn, unnecessary, cruel for the sake of cruelty. Millions quit right here. Ratings dropped like a rock. The internet spiraled into arguments that still haven't ended. Negan didn't just kill Glenn and Abraham, he killed the illusion that The Walking Dead knew its limits. And just when fans thought the show couldn't get more controversial, AMC made a decision that turned Negan from terrifying villain into something far worse, predictable. In the comics, the war between Rick and Negan is brutal, quick, and sharp. It's a fast punch to the jaw. But in the show, AMC turned it into a marathon that felt longer than the apocalypse itself. 2 entire seasons of speeches, hostage swaps, fake-outs, ambushes, more speeches, and filler episodes that tested the patience of even the most loyal fans. Tara on a beach, Eugene making bullets, Carol staring out windows like she was waiting for her Uber, and meanwhile, Negan, the man who was supposed to be the most terrifying villain in franchise history, spent scene after scene leaning in chairs, cracking jokes, and delivering monologues that lasted longer than actual action scenes. Negan didn't feel dangerous anymore. He felt predictable, routine, safe. The war wasn't suspenseful, it was exhausting. Fans didn't fear Negan. They feared the next episode being another filler hour. But AMC wasn't done softening him, because the biggest blow to Negan's villain status was still waiting around the corner, and it changed everything. In the comics, Negan is a force of nature. He's chaotic, vulgar, unpredictable, and philosophical in the worst possible way. He's frightening because you never know whether he'll shake your hand or bash your skull. TV Negan? Let's just say AMC hit the PG-13 filter, like their jobs depended on it. Gone were the iconic F-bombs. Gone was the unhinged comic brutality. Gone was the twisted comedy that made him terrifying. Instead, we got dad joke Negan, the version that smiled too much, talked too much, and felt less like a warlord and more like the apocalypse version of a late-night host. Fans who loved the comics felt robbed. Casual viewers felt confused. Everyone felt the difference. Negan wasn't the chaotic villain the comics promised. He was the network-approved version's safer, softer, sanitized. But AMC didn't stop rewriting him, because just when fans thought Negan couldn't drift further from his original character, the writers pushed him into a direction no one, literally no one, wanted. Suddenly, Negan wasn't the monster who killed Glenn. He was the guy growing tomatoes, teaching kids life lessons, cooking breakfast like he was filming a post-apocalyptic cooking show. The show expected viewers to forget his entire history. Forget the lineup, forget the trauma, forget the brutality. And fans said, absolutely not. This wasn't earned redemption, it was forced redemption. And the whiplash was real. Negan went from villain who terrorized the world to cool uncle who occasionally gives moral advice. Maggie's trauma pushed aside. Daryl's hatred softened. Rick's war all forgiven. The writers wanted Negan to be complex. Instead, he became confusing. The fandom didn't know what to feel, and that's the worst outcome a villain can have. But AMC didn't care about fan reaction, because Negan wasn't just a character anymore. He was something much more profitable. By this point, Negan should have died. Narratively, morally, logically, every other villain had. The governor? Gone. Alpha? Gone. Beta? Gone. But Negan? He survived everything. Why? Because AMC refused to lose him. He was ratings. He was merchandise. He was a brand. So every time the plot demanded Negan's death, the writers found a way out. Rick spares him. Communities forgive him. Maggie hesitates. Judith softens him, and somehow Negan becomes indispensable. The story bent around him, characters bent around him, morality bent around him. And when a villain becomes untouchable, when the writers warp the entire narrative to keep him alive, he stops being a character and becomes a crack in the storytelling itself. The Walking Dead didn't break because of Negan. It broke because AMC refused to let him go. But the real question now is, what did all of this leave behind? So how did Negan end up as the most controversial villain in TV history? Because he wasn't just one thing, he was everything at once. The most hyped villain, the most brutally introduced villain, the most dragged out villain, the most censored villain, the most rewritten villain, the most protected villain. He didn't just break characters, he broke the fandom, he broke the ratings, he broke the illusion that The Walking Dead had a long-term plan. Negan became a symbol, a perfect mirror of everything The Walking Dead did right, and everything it did horribly wrong. He saved the show by bringing energy, fear, charisma, and he destroyed the show by exposing its weakest writing instincts. Negan wasn't the hero, he wasn't the villain, he was the turning point, the moment the series stopped being unstoppable and started being questionable. But now the only question left is, did Negan ruin The Walking Dead, or did he simply reveal that it was already falling apart at the seams? So what do you think? Was Negan the greatest villain the show ever had? Or the moment everything went off the rails? Drop your take in the comments, hit like if you survived Season 7, and subscribe if you want more brutally honest breakdowns. Undead Opinion, signing off. If you want, I can now write